Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Stock Market with your bi-weekly Apple analysis done on Monday 25th of March. I'm recording this video now 10 to 10 in the evening New York time on the 25th New York time. I was expecting some upwards movement for the last few days from Apple. My short-term target was 471.82. Price fell 1.87 short of the target, reaching up to 469.95. I'm expecting an interruption in the upwards trend now as we see a B wave downwards, which may last a couple of weeks before we see some more upwards movement. Overall, my main wave count sees this upwards movement as a second wave correction at intermediate degree, which at this early stage would be most likely to reach up to about the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio of intermediate wave 1 that it's correcting at 527.51. 2 can't move beyond the start of 1. The wave count is invalidated with movement above 594.59. If that happens, I'll use my alternate daily wave count. That has a lower probability, so I'm expecting it's likely price will not move above this point. When 2 is complete, we'll have a third wave within a third wave to the downside, but that's a few weeks away yet. We've got a really clear trend channel breach of this little channel containing the impulse for intermediate wave 1 down, so this impulse is over and we're in an upwards correction. Let's have a look at what's happened so far for intermediate wave 2, where it start down here and the low of intermediate 1 is this point down here. So far we have a 5-wave structure upwards with a leading diagonal for minute 1, a double zigzag for minute 2, an impulse for minute 3, a contracting triangle for the 4th wave, and now the 5th wave is likely to be over. I've had a really close look at this one on the 5-minute chart and even on the 1-minute chart to make sure that all the subdivisions are complete. I think it's most likely that it is complete here. We've got some really great Fibonacci ratios in this upwards movement and some very nice time relationships within this final wave. Within minor wave A, minute wave 3 is just 2.3 longer than 1.618, the length of minute 1. Also within minor A, minute wave 5 is just 1.87 short of equality in length with minute 1, so we've got a really typical Fibonacci relationship here. Also in terms of time, I can't find any nice relationships in minute waves 1, 2, 3 and 4, but within minute 5 it lasted exactly a Fibonacci 13 hours, and within it minuet wave 1 lasts 1 hour, minuet 2 lasts 2, minuet 3 lasts 5, minuet 4 lasts 2, and minuet 5 lasts 3, so they all have perfect Fibonacci time relationships. I expect upwards movement is likely to be over here, and that this is the start here of minor wave B. However, at this stage we do not have confirmation of at least a short-term trend change. We won't get it until we see a full hourly candlestick below this channel on the hourly chart and not touching it. Draw this channel from the high of 1 to 3, place a parallel copy on the low of 2. It shows us where the 4th wave found support, very slight overshoot here, but we need to see this trend channel breached on the downside to have some confidence that minor wave A is over and minor wave B is underway. When we see price move below 457.98, that's the high of minuet wave 1 within minute 5. At that stage, downwards movement can't be a 4th wave correction within minute wave 5, and so minute wave 5 would have to be over, which means minor wave A in its entirety would be extremely likely to be over. So first a trend channel breach, and then further confidence in this trend change with price movement below 457.98. This is a B wave, so there are 13 possible structures that could unfold in this position. At this very early stage, we can have absolutely no idea which of those 13 structures is going to unfold. The most common would be a zigzag, but an equally common structure would be a flat correction. A flat correction can see a new price extreme beyond the start of the B wave, so there can be no invalidation point up here while this B wave is in its early stages. What we can say though is because intermediate wave 2 is most likely to be a zigzag, because its A wave subdivides to a 5, within a zigzag, the B wave may not move beyond the start of A. I'm not expecting movement below 419. The B wave should last a couple of weeks or so, and it'll be choppy, overlapping and slowly trending downwards, and as I said, within it, it could also have a new price extreme. In another 3 or 4 sessions, we may have some indication of what structure may be unfolding within this B wave. On the daily chart, this is still my alternate. It still sees more upwards movement, but this alternate sees the possibility of a new all-time high. If the main wave count is invalidated with movement above 594.59, and that's this price point up here, then we will have this downwards movement will be confirmed as a complete 3-wave zigzag structure, and so the upwards movement would be a B wave, most likely to be a zigzag, and we would be looking at cycle degree at a flat correction unfold. With a 3-wave structure for the A, a 3-wave structure for the B that must be at least 90% the length of A, so price must reach up to at least 676.46, and an expanded flat is the most common type of flat, which requires the B wave to make a new price extreme beyond the start of the A wave, so for this alternate, a new all-time high for Apple would be reasonably likely. So my last analysis expected a bit of upwards movement to 471.82. That's pretty close to what we got. Price fell 1.87 short of that target. I'm expecting we've had a short-term trend change, and we're now going to see choppy, overlapping, generally trending downwards movement, lots of choppy overlapping movement for a B wave, which should take probably a couple of weeks to unfold. That's all for me today with your Apple analysis, and I hope that everyone had a fabulous weekend.